Hey y'all, it is Crafty Hope here, and today I'm going to work on ICAD 12 for the Index Card a Day challenge. I am using both sets of prompts, which are Fairy Tale and Ledger, and I'm going to use them right away. Um, that I'm putting down are bits of Red Riding Hood, which is a fairy tale. I did a Red Riding Hood hop earlier in the year and had printed it out and used it in the background of that. I'll put a link actually to that video, and it turned out kind of cool. So I'm putting that fairy tale down, and then ledger. This is a bit of an old ledger, and so I'm collaging that down. I'm knocking these two prompts out right away, right at the beginning. Collage is almost always the first step I make when working on these cards or a lot of mixed media, because it gives me a distinctive and new background, something that nobody else has. They're always going to look a little different, and um, I don't know. It's just a unique way. Now, it's not unique to do collage, but it makes your background unique. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm using my Oohoo glue stick to stick these bits of paper down, and I will bring Fairy Tale back into this in a little while, but for now, I've already got it done. You know, both of those prompts done. Pretty happy about this. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I also add in one of my flower fairies in here. I had somebody ask me about how I made those, and I think I went ahead and made one in here. So I'll try to do one more in depth where I explain it and it's not so sped up. But since this is for another project entirely, um, I'll walk you through it as best I can. So I've got this down. I've decided to add a little bit of color in there. I'm using what is that, a Neo Color 2 as well as a Stabilo Woody just to scribble, and then I'm going to grab a paintbrush and wet it and activate those just to kind of put like a little bit of a wash on there. Also, what I'm doing is I did activated the blue first and did all of the blue and then activated the green so that I don't muddy those colors too much, because I was afraid if I did, blue green, it would end up just being a muddy mess. So I did those separately, and then I'm sitting here thinking, and here's where we're going to get to my flower fairy. That is a piece of drywall tape that is been rust dyed. And I am just pulling out I think it's my V5, Pilot V5 pen, which is my favorite pen because it has like a super fine tip. And so I'm starting on my flower fairy, and the first thing I'm doing is drawing some flowers. Now, I know these are at the top of her head, and I'm just kind of going with what feels good to me. Every time the flowers are a little bit different. I've got like a rose there and a daisy, and then some other kind of, I don't even know what kind of flower this one is. And I'm adding a couple little marks to the inside of that, and I think I'm going to do another kind of rose type shape, just a spirally flower thing over there on the other side. From there, I'll add in a couple. No, I'm going to go ahead and do her face. So I start with some eyes and eyebrows, and then I'll do a couple of dots and do kind of the U around them. And then a mouth, pretty easy. I add her face and do a neck, and then just kind of a basic general torso-ish shape. And I'm doing a little bit of a decorative accent on her collar just to have something. And then coming back into her flower crown up there and adding some foliage, just some different kind of buds and leaf shapes in there just to have a little bit of filler and give it more dimension so it doesn't feel so flat. I am no expert on making faces or anything like that. This is just something that I started doing while I was bored. I would just start drawing faces, and I've slowly added the like flower portion into it because I love anything kind of fairy or magic or fantasy related, and so this is kind of my jam. So to make her a fairy, I'm just adding some wings. They're different shapes every time. These are kind of pointed at the ends. I gave them a little space in the middle, and I'm drawing some lines. And so I'm going to grab my scissors and cut her out real quick. I'm actually not going to cut the bottom portion off of her quite yet, but I'm going to just fussy cut. I'm not an exact fussy cutter. I don't get into every single nook and cranny. I just can't do that. The people that can, that have that patience and that precision, yay for you, but I am not that girl. I'm just not patience and precision. Um, this is pretty precise for me. All right. So I just kind of followed those bottom lines down, but didn't really cut it. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put her. And I decide to do her long ways on this card. So I go ahead and extend those lines there and stick her down. Well, not stick her down. Kind of figure out where I want her. And I think I'm just going to stick her down with my Uhu glue stick. I must have been in a rush or something this day, y'all. I seem to be like panicky. Um, since I haven't done much of that background, I decided to go ahead and do some scribbly lines there with my pencil. And then I'm coming in with I think it's Bria Reese. And it's a glitter ink pen. It's a black ink, but it's got a touch of glitter in it. I'm trying to see. I'm looking at the card now, and I don't know if I can see the glitter in it or not. Because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Nuvo Mica Mist spray in antique gold and spray that on there too. Because if she's a fairy and this is magic, we need a little glitz. So we're going to add this spray. Now it's not going to spray because you know how those sprays get. They clog up. So I'm just going to splash it on there with the stem of the spray. And then dry it. And now I'm going to take my Uhu glue stick and glue her down. And do y'all see the way I turned her? Up at the top of the page, it says Once Upon a Time. Fairy tale, y'all. And I've got a fairy. And yeah, this makes me all very, very happy. Because I don't know when I did this, I saw the Once Upon a Time up there at the top of the page. But after I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, it is a fairy tale. I'm a dork. All right, so I decided to give a little color to her cheeks. I cannot remember what color that Distress crayon is, but I will try to put it in the description box below for you. Probably it looks like something like cotton candy or something, but don't trust me on that. That's just a me making up. So I'm going to add a little dimension to her with some shadow, and I'm using my Stabilo all pencil in brown just to go around her. And as usual, I'm going to take a wet paintbrush and activate it as soon as I find my wet paintbrush. And yeah, I do have this sped up, but I do feel like I'm rushing in this. I don't know what happened this day. I don't know. I could have been running late. I don't know. Had something on my brain. All right, then I decided I wanted to color those flowers. So I'm just using some Crayola. I do have some Prismacolors, but I have a larger selection of Crayola colored pencils. So I am just using those to color in the flowers and some of those little leaves and things. And nothing fancy, just coloring. And it really does give it a little touch, that little pop of pink and yellow in there. Just, I don't know, it really adds something to the rest of her where it's, just that rust-dyed paper. So, and I'm going to have to do that again. I haven't colored in very many of my flower fairies, and this made me feel so happy. So yeah, I need to do that more. All right. It's not much left from here. I think I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz clippings in just a second. They are sentiment stickers, and I find one that says To Dreamland, which again, fairy tale. And I'm gonna stick that down in her body, and that's it, guys. I am done with this card. I love it. If y'all have any questions that I didn't answer about drawing these fairies or any of my process or anything about ICAD, let me know. All right, y'all, keep on crafting on. Thanks for watching. Bye.